Queen Elizabeth has always said she needs to be seen to be believed, and seen she is, often in the most brightest of colours, so the public can't miss her. As Britain's longest reigning monarch, Her Majesty has undertaken thousands of engagements over her almost 70-year reign. And one man who's been capturing it all for nearly 2 decades is Getty Images royal photographer Chris Jackson, who joins us now. Hello, Chris, and welcome back to 9Honey.
Hey, thank you very much for having me.
Chris, you've been photographing the Queen for almost, but not quite, 20 years now. Do you remember your first assignment capturing Her Majesty, and what struck you most about her?
I'm not sure I can remember the exact first time, but I do remember a few of the first occasions I got the opportunity to photograph the Queen. And, when I was a younger photographer, I do remember the feeling I had and the feeling of excitement and sort of anticipation when I got the opportunity to capture some images of the Queen, and it still excites me to this day, and that really hasn't worn off at all. I suppose that adds an element of pressure to capturing the image that you hope tells a story, but it's very special.
Now, you've put together a book of images that you've taken of Queen Elizabeth ahead of her Platinum Jubilee year. What was the experience like putting the book together and taking that trip down memory lane?
You know what, it's a huge privilege to sort of go back through the Getty archive and my images over such a sort of long period of time. And what I tried to do in the book is talk a little bit about some of those challenges that go into taking the pictures. But yeah, it was a really special journey putting the book together, coming up with some of the memories, some of the more sort of personal memories behind the images that you might not think about when you see that picture in the paper.
How has photographing the Queen changed since you started? Has her age been a factor at all?
I think that's what's so special about the Queen. She's essentially timeless. She has had this incredible appeal over the period that I've had the opportunity to photograph her. And I think, she's outlasted the careers of all these photographers, and she's still here, still working today. And that's what is so incredible, this amazing history when you look back at the images of the Queen and how she's been photographed over the years, the different styles of photography and how the technology's changed over time. And I talk a lot about the advent of digital photography in the book and how that certainly changed the way that images are captured of the Queen and transferred around the world.
And do you have a favourite photo in the book?
I think one of my favourite photos is the Queen winning the Gold Cup at Royal Ascot when her horse, Estimate, charged across the finishing line. Racing is something that means, and horse breeding is something that means a huge amount to the Queen. We often see her looking at her most passionate and relaxed at Royal Ascot. And to win the Gold Cup, for the first time in over 200 years for a reigning monarch was just an incredible achievement. I remember so vividly the moment she was handed the coveted trophy and the look on her face and the sheer joy when she had it in her hands, and it clearly meant so much to her. And it's not just about it's what the work that she's put in, the passion she takes into breeding these horses. It's a story that goes back a long way.
Ultimately, taking photos of the royals is your day job, but do you still get nervous?
Oh, definitely, 100%. I'm always getting nervous because I think if you don't get a little bit nervous, you're not pushing yourself. Certainly the nature of what you're doing, quite often you have moments to capture that shot. And if you don't, then you don't have anything. You can only do a certain amount to make it happen. And then you do need that element of luck as well. This is a good example of sort of slightly more unexpected. This is just from an engagement. But this isn't an unusual expression, and it's just something a little bit different. And that was just at the opening of a hospital, and there was a lovely soft light coming from the skylight above, and you just get something a little bit different. It almost looks like you're in a studio.
And you took the last portraits of the Queen and Prince Philip together on the occasion of their 73rd wedding anniversary in 2020. How was that shoot different to how they might be as a couple at royal engagements?
Obviously a huge honour to ever be asked to do anything like that. For me, I just love the moment when the Duke of Edinburgh opened up that card from his great-grandchildren, which was very special. And incredibly sad that only a short period later, the Duke of Edinburgh sadly passed, and at the funeral to photograph that, and that was incredibly somber and very moving. So it's, you know, always a privilege to be documenting the royal story, so to speak.